All electrolyte and hydration mixes and drinks are not created equal. I mean, check the ingredients. They have sugar or sugar alternatives, and there's tons of added stuff. Allow me to introduce you to the best electrolyte mix, Light Balance, Lyte balance.com. It's a naked electrolyte mix, which means no preservatives, no sweeteners, no flavoring, no caffeine or gluten, and no calories. I'm always on the search for the best hydration, and I've found it. My entire family uses it, and I use it on all my runs. It solved all my hydration issues. Your body needs magnesium, potassium, and sodium, which Light Balance conveniently provides in liquid or powder form. Pure, powerful hydration. Light Balance. Go to lytebalance.com. Our guest today on the Mental Toughness Podcast, the Balance Guru,
Yes.
OG, trainer of trainers. He's a humanitarian as well. Excited for this conversation. Our guest is a two-time Guinness Book world record holder. He holds the record for the greatest height to perform a handstand in interlocking platforms, 18 feet 5 inches. He's done that twice, so we'll talk about it two times. He also holds the record for the highest hippie jump on a longboard. He was a contestant on the Go Big show. He's an armed force service veteran from the Marines. His recent venture as well is the Heritage Reserve Guatemala Coffee. Excited to hear about that as well. He is currently on America's Got Talent right now, season 20. Can't tell us how he did, but we'll see what we can get out of him in terms of like the experience. But our guest today, I'm excited for this, man. Travis Horn. Travis, my man. Thanks for joining us, bud.
Man, I appreciate you so much. What an introduction. Probably the best introduction I have received my entire career so far. I appreciate that.
Well,
And I noticed your book, Puke and Rally, which I do have. I was sent a copy of, and some amazing work, man. You have quite a bit of accolades yourself, so I do appreciate you taking the time and interviewing me.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I don't like interviews at all if I'm listening to any kind of podcast and they say, "All right, Travis, tell us about yourself." So if I'm on a podcast as well, "Hey, Rob, tell us about yourself." Like, I don't know. Did you do your research or not? Right? So no, I'm glad you like that, man. I
I
mean,
no, I appreciate that, and I can and tell because you brought up some things that most people don't know. So like that was really connecting, and I appreciate that, man.
well, Sasha the cat, man. I know before we started, I said, "Hey, man, how's Sasha? Tell us that that lineage, man, that story."
Yeah, what happened to Sasha is once I started going to Guatemala after once before my first trip, my humanitarian trip to Camalapa to help out the kids in the jungle, which was an amazing trip because I watched the video like maybe 5 years ago of a white man with a long beard in Africa and all the kids going up and touching the beard, and I said, I'm gonna go do that. And in Kamalapa, it actually happened because not a lot of Guatemalans have long beards. I had a really long beard. Was playing basketball with the kids, and they were just circled around me. And I got this video. I was dripping, completely sweating, and they didn't care. They just wanted to touch my beard. It was such a connecting moment. So that's how it started saying, okay, Guatemala is my second home. I will keep going back there. And that is how
What does that do for your soul, man, when you have kids like that interacting with you and that spiritual piece?
I have a son. So all I thought was, is they have parents, and it's just one of those things where I didn't think I was ever gonna maybe get to that level. You know, like they say, what are you gonna be when you're in elementary school? What do you want to be? You want to be a cop? You want to be a firefighter? And now I'm out in Camalapa, Guatemala, having this connecting experience that I seen once 5 years ago on TV. It's a surreal experience. It's one of those things where when a fighter wins the championship after 13 years, it's words can't really explain that, right? Like there's not enough words to explain that. It's definitely a feeling from the depth core that I mean, that's if you have that craving, then your life is going to be amazing.
Hmm. No, love it, man. So Sasha,
What happened was, is once I went, I didn't want the cat to be home alone for several months. I gave up my Challenger, I gave up my apartment, and I was full force going to Guatemala, only coming back to see my son. So I had to do something with the cat. And Anthony, one of my good buddies that I play baseball with, he's a consultant, he's a super cool guy. He had a sister that was looking for a cat. So that actually went to someone that I knew's sister, which that made me feel a lot better. And then I went to Guatemala. Coming back now, I was just scrolling online because I have a brand new place now. And I was, like I'm a therapist. So I love giving it. My love language is physical touch. So, that's, I'm a lover. So I would like an animal. And it's a lot better than and easier than a girlfriend. So I got Lila. I seen, and she's a ragdoll white cat. I went there at 7 weeks. She had her broken tail. Her ears were painted with pink nail polish. Like she was just a baby tiny 7 week cat. Unfortunately, they didn't even let me see the cat because the way it is. So I literally got her in a box for free, and I put her in the car and I opened the box, and she's just this little tiny cat broken. Now she's almost a year. Beautiful, loving cat, and she's just an amazing cat. She's my emotional support cat for sure.
No, that's awesome, man. I love animals, man. I love like people ask, are you a cat or a dog guy? Man, I'm both, you know.
Yes.
I do, and I love them both. No, that's
And a
awesome.
little sidetrack talking about animals. I
Yeah.
I actually volunteer now for Horses for Heroes, which is a local organization here that has veterans, cops, and firefighters. And that's the first time I've ever touched a baby cow. That's the first time I've ever got my hands on a donkey or like actual baby goats like that. So that right there is another thing that's like, wow, I'm 35. Yes, it took me to go to New York to touch my first red brick. So like when people are watching and seeing what I'm doing online, it's because I grew up in a tough household where I didn't get to do so much. Then I joined the Marine Corps from 18 to 22. So like I'm a child in my heart and my mind doing things for the first time. Like I've never been to a concert still. Like so things like that. It's like, yes, you're gonna see me. I don't even remember ever going to someone's backyard barbecue going into a side gate, right? So yes, I'm seeking barbecues. I'm so like all the basic things that people have just ran through. As you can see, my room is completely covered with focused energy and effort. So if I was selfish, this wouldn't be here. I would just be partying all the time. But I've been so selfless, which is my quote, be so selfless, you reap the benefits of being selfish. So I was so selfless for 13 years that yes, I am doing amazing things now and meeting amazing people and I'm enjoying it. I'm reaping what I sowed.
No, I love that, man. Never been to a concert, really.
Yeah, like think well, because I'm also not I'm an empath. So like
Yep.
as a therapist, I care. So if I were to see somebody in there not having right, like so that would be very hard for me to regulate to be able to be such a helper and humanitarian and it's very hard for me to shut that off because I don't believe there's too much time. So when I do shut it off,
Right.
when we get to a certain age, fine. I can shut that off and enjoy. But as of right now, I'm in a mode where I believe that, God only puts the people around me that I need to be able to help. And that is only if I need to lead in command. So if I ever have a crowd that big, the information that I have for every human, I would need to know or figure out how to get on that microphone. I
Hmm.
wouldn't be able to sit there and say, wow, everyone's going to have a good time. They spend a little money, but when they all leave, they didn't get that information at one massive group. Like, how do we get a massive amount of people at one time? Unless we're singing songs at a Super Bowl. But at that point, that's the point where you're supposed to drill the education and the knowledge.
Right. Right. Definitely something I want to get into. I mean, tell me about the cause right now. What is it? Horses, what?
Horses for Heroes.
Horses for Heroes.
And they're
Tell me
and
about
they're
that.
doing amazing things, and it's remember I'm in Las Vegas, so
Yep.
there's not a lot of interaction with animals here whatsoever. So, and honestly, it took me that long to find a place that will actually allow you and loves and cares for the animals. There is a couple little spots that they call farms and stuff, but the animals are not. They're behind gates. They're overfed. Like no, this place there's feeding schedules. Like it's just so much more as energetically connected to the community compared to come here, buy a $5 thing of hay, overfeed the animals, and now where's I mean, there's no end
Right.
to that besides the animals taking the hit at that point.
Yeah. No, awesome, man. When did um when did you and Balance when did that really start to take place, man? Like what was the first memory of that?
Man, you're taking me back a little bit. We're getting older right now. So I
That's
remember
what I
my
said.
mind, my
OG,
mind is
man.
still sharp. So in 2012, when I got out of the Marine Corps, as veterans, like we don't really know too much other than go, go, go and physical at that point because the disconnection is not. Unfortunately, I was a radio operator in the Marine Corps, even that had the top secret clearance, and I couldn't get a job at AT&T. I couldn't get a job at a cell phone place, Cox Communications. So unfortunately, the military transcript doesn't translate to the civilian side, which that's why you can get out as a sergeant, have all these accolades, go on a war, and then you get out and they give you a mop. right? So you
So
always
why couldn't you get like a position there? I mean, it seemed like it'd be a perfect fit.
just because it didn't translate, as in like when you did the resume, just because you put military and you have all this, it still to them as a civilian doesn't translate to you have 5 years in community service,
Um,
you've worked at a telecommunication for 2 years, right? Like a basic, like a a regular, like our resume is a different. So if we were to be brutally honest, because we were taught to be honest, and we made a civilian resume, it starts at zero at 22 years old. So
okay.
like the 18 years old to 22 that people had those little rinky dink experiences, all we have is an extreme resume. And remember, unfortunately, civilians don't look like veterans are the most are entities, and they look at them as a they have a crutch or a cripple, and that's unfortunate, right? Like it shouldn't be PTSD, it should be PTSG. Like I didn't get out of the military thinking that I was lesser or lower or weaker than the average person. Like that was never the mindset, and still not the mindset. But that's how you're treated when it comes to the civilian side. So what did I do as a typical veteran? I jumped in the gym. As soon as I jumped in the gym, I was lifting 3 or 4 plates. I was deadlifting, 5 or 6 plates. Leg pressing 5 or 6 plates. I was deadlifting 3 plates. So the strength was just already there. So now we already have the strength. Now we're in the civilian world. We're unaccepted. What do we do? So I started playing around with the gym equipment. I said, wait, nobody's touching that. Nobody's touching the Bosu ball. Nobody's touching the foam roller. Nobody's really playing with the kettlebells in 2011. Let me just touch them. Let me jump on them. Let me stand on them. And then me and my buddy Joe were working out one day, which he's still going strong. He's an amazing dancer. Some older couple came up to us and they were like, "Are you guys in the Cirque show?" And we
Hmm.
kind of giggled to each other and we're like, "Yeah, no, 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 you're not. We're not in the Cirque show." And at that point, I was like, wow, like the average person is seeing something like this be circ in circus just because like because remember gymnastics and old school gymnastics go back to France and Italy. Gymnastics and circus and art is old. That's vintage. Like they've been doing handstands and the Ringling Brother, like so that's a specific art, but it wasn't happening in the gym. So if you call Arnold right now or Phil
Right.
Heath and you say, "Hey, how many handstands were people doing next to you while you were lifting?" He's gonna say none. He's probably gonna say none because why? There was a gymnastics gym for that.
Hmm.
So once that kind of like was like, "Oh, okay, well I'm getting attention that way." Wasn't getting attention deadlifting 3 plates. Wasn't getting attention. Benching three. It just wasn't enough. It wasn't there. So once that kind of went, and Joe was a dancer, so Joe was already in the mirror doing kind of weird things. So I put the Bosu ball down, flipped it upside down, and now I'm on a balance platform. Even though I wasn't a dancer, it made me feel like, okay, now I'm moving a little bit more, and now I'm doing, and then it just snowballed from there. And
Mm.
honestly, I'm very proud of myself for recording every single session I've ever had in my entire career. And that to me is just it's like imagine when we watch old videos and we're like, man, wish we had more of that footage. Like when
Yeah.
we watch like the cars in the 80s or like the first things being invented, we're like, man, it's black and white, but it looks I wish we had more. I
Yep.
have every video that I've ever done. So you could never not ask me for something and I could say, I mean, I didn't get that. I have it
Yeah.
all.
So one of the reasons why it really intrigued me and I wanted to speak to you is because of the behind the curtain footage, right? The behind the scenes footage. And what I mean by that is I'm watching, and I think that's what we see, right? We see the highlight videos of people. We don't get to see all the struggle, all the hours and hours of dedication and failure on it. And when I'm watching your I'm just calling it behind the scenes reel, right?
Yeah.
The behind the scenes reel of, man, dude, you've had some gnarly crashes, man, some falls. And I was like, okay, that's the guy I want to talk to. Talk to us about that process in terms of how many, I mean, because it looks like it's just really, really painful, man. I mean, talk to us about that process in terms of the falls and keep getting up and having the goal and the vision and what that looked like, man.
After all these years and thinking and just processing that, I do believe it comes down to being a pioneer. What I mean is, when the first person got up and said, "I'm tired of sitting around this tree," and decided to load up everything on the donkey, and didn't know the trip ahead, I think that he didn't realize that his donkey's feet are gonna have to be tended to. He's gonna run out of food along the way. He might hit a ditch or a patch that he's never seen across before. He's never seen a thorn bush in his life, and now he's into a thorn patch. He's got to wiggle and waggle through cactuses. To us, a cactus is normal, but to them, if they didn't venture and they stumbled across cactuses, how did they know that these things weren't going to shoot at them? How did they know that they weren't going to get poked and die? Like, so those little mental things is what I've always had in the back of my head, that if I'm a true pioneer and I'm a pioneer, that's the only reason I'm able to do this. Is because I'm pioneering for other human beings that have to live on this planet. We're all the same, right? And that's what I truly believe. We're human beings we're not AI, we're not dogs, we're not cats, we're not robots, we're human beings. And we live on Earth. We're not on Venus, we're not on Mars, we're not on Pluto. So there's a blueprint to how we're doing this when it comes down to it just came down to I'm a pioneer, and this is the blueprint. So like I have to go through this. And I always tell people, if you want to be the captain of the ship, you got to be willing to go through the shit, and you got to be willing to go down with the ship. And most people don't understand that. So I am all of that. So like, and that is what I believe a true leader is. So like, that is what allows me to say, I am not going through this pain myself. That would be selfish. Why would I ever take this? Like, I've gone to the point where this is the perfect moment for this. I have done so much of this falling and failing that I don't grind my teeth. I don't have any cavities. I have contracted for 13 years, not because I said I need to go and contract. I think I've done enough. It's because I'm selflessly living out my pioneer life of why I'm put on this planet, and my body is put on the line. Why? Because our bodies are made to put on the line. So, when they say you're not scared to die, you're scared to live. Not me. Not me. We're going to live it. We're going to try it. We're going to do it. I mean, I got a broken femur, a knee replacement, two-tone rotator cuffs. I just went on AGT, which we'll get to that, with a rotator cuff after 6 months. Like, I am 13 years. Like, you would think I would ever go jeopardize this exact moment, which we can't say what happened or that, but what an amazing adventure and experience. So yeah, I've put my body on the line. Absolutely. Because I'm a pioneer. That's why I'm able to take that. And which is crazy, out of all these sponsors and stuff, imagine if I'm a pioneer and I live as a Neanderthal, all this medical stuff, all these CBD, I don't take any of that stuff because I don't like placebos. So yes, I help these brands, but no, maybe I cup or I scrape, but man, I don't cream every day. To be honest, which is crazy, I've never taken an ice bath ever, ever. So imagine all my injuries and everything I do. And I've never taken an ice bath. I don't even like cold water. I got no body fat. I freeze. I freeze in the shower. Right? You know what I'm saying? So no, no, no. So like I believe that's, like if you're a Neanderthal and you're pioneering, they just walk 30 miles into the desert, 100 miles. Do you think they're gonna ice bath? No, they're
Right.
not. Right? Are they not gonna be healthy? Are they not gonna be strong? Are they not gonna be abundant? Come on. We're all in these places because your ancestors moved, not because you live where you live, but you wouldn't be there. Go back in history, figure out where you came from. It's not where you're at.
Hmm. You talked about like your hands are your feet and your feet are your hands.
Oof.
Talk to us
Yes.
about that one, man, because I thought that was such a
And when you
righteous
say
line.
that, that video immediately goes. I know exactly where I was standing. I know exactly the time. I could pull that video up immediately. And that was just a concept that I developed on accident by handstanding all the time. Because if you look at all my handstand videos, you'll probably find less than one, maybe two, less than maybe one on me handstanding against a wall, unless I'm explaining. So imagine if you're upright when it comes to physics, it's easier when you're both your feet on the ground. You use a lot of hip to control that. But upside down, it's the opposite. Your legs are way heavier than your arms are, and your spine. So therefore, it literally massage school. So while I was going through massage school, I learned that all your organs and everything could be touched with your feet and your hands. And then that translated to, oh, okay, well, what's the difference if I'm putting my feet on the ground or my hands on the ground? Nothing compared to when you're using it. So the mindset of that connection is how you're using it. So when your fingers are on the ground, you're not thinking of contracting your fingers because your toes have always been doing that for a very long time. Like you're not thinking of it. So if you actually use your hands like you use your feet, yeah, man, you got gorilla grip, you got talon grip on the ground.
You have in-depth story about, we talk about hinge moments, these moments that connect who we are with who we become. But and you had a world record that you set Talk to us about the beginning of that one, and then how then you rebroke that record.
Yeah, man, that is truly an amazing story. If I look around at all my awards, 13 years ago when I first started doing handstands, I actually have an email of writing the Guinness Book of World Records saying I would like to do a handstand world record. And I have an email saying that there's not even a category. So when I tried to do this originally, there was no category. So you can only imagine 10 years later, I receive an email from the Guinness Book of Records saying that they want to fly me out to set my own world record because there was no world record there and the reason why they did not because they wanted to say what do you want to do, it's because they built a platform that they believe that I could do it. So out of everybody in the world, I thought it was kind of cool that, I mean, I don't know if they how many people they contacted or who they thought of, or they called me. And I remember being in my condo, I remember receiving the messages, and of course, I was like, yes, without even knowing anything. And that's even deeper story. Every time I've ever gone out of the country to do these shows and do these things, I
Mm-hmm.
don't ever bring my own stuff. So it's brand new out the package. I've never seen it. I've never touched it. It's just brand new. Go. So that's why I always have to stay ready because there is no pre-prep. There's no, I'm not a magician. I don't have a deck of cards in my pocket. They're just like, can you do this? I'm like, yes. Same thing with AGT. The weights that I used were in somebody's garage the day before. They bought them on Facebook Marketplace, right? Like they're used beyond. So like we're not gonna. That's a whole different story. So, but guess what? I had a flawless performance. That's it. That's what you can know. I had a flawless performance. I'm proud of myself. The world rec. So once they wrote me, and I was like, yes. Remember, they're in Italy. So they speak a different language, they speak a different measurement system. So when they said, "Hey, can you do this 4 meters?" I immediately said yes. Man, I had D's and F's in high school and math. Math is my word. You won't math
Yeah.
and singing miss me with that. Those are the two things that you will absolutely expose my weaknesses, math and singing. And that's the cool thing about being a humanitarian. I don't need to speak money. My quote, give something from your heart, not your pockets. Your pockets don't go deep enough. Let's just give something from our hearts, right? We don't have to worry about no money. Just exchange. So I said yes. I said yes. They sent me the blueprints of the device. And I'm sitting here like, okay, what am I supposed to do with the blueprints of this? Like, it looks like it's an absolute unit of a device. Why? Because of physics. So if you put something 18 feet in the air, the base has to be built. So it's a steel big base, and you can, I mean, the videos are all over there. And I said yes, 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 knowing that, man. First of all, this was the highest I've ever handstand, the farthest I ever handstand away from my home. And when I
Mm-hmm.
got there, somebody found me next to the Coliseum and was like, "Hey man, you know what I'm saying? You want some, some medicine?" And I was like, "Yes." So it was the highest I ever was while I handstand, let's
What,
just
like a,
say.
a blunt?
Yeah, someone was like, "Hey man, you're an American man." That beard, the beard got me, and
Okay.
it was like, "You trying to have some a hash blunt?" And man, I got the video of that. It was so funny. It was an amazing experience because I'm a veteran, so right, like
Yeah.
medical marijuana, cannabis here, whatever, it's legal where I live, but it's not something that I openly express. Why? Because I have a kid, it's kind of personal
Oh,
to
I
me.
get
But
it.
yeah, no, that guy solidified an amazing show. And I'm not gonna lie, every time I've ever gone anywhere, all these people, Cody and Georgia, without Cody and Macon, Georgia, the show wouldn't have been right. I just went to an AGT show. I don't know the guy's name. A show wouldn't have been right. Every time I went these places, I've had these angels
Hmm.
send me the medicine that I needed to get the job done. So I was like, yes, 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 yes. Boom, I fly over there. Man, what an amazing experience. I have all of it vlogged on my YouTube, like from me even touching and unwrapping the stuff. So imagine I've never even touched the circus poles.
Right.
And now I'm in another country, unwrapping them, putting my hand on them for the first time, thinking, well, and then I have a video of me in practice crying. And she's like, I'm up there and I'm doing it, right? And everything's good. But it's shaking so much. And I'm just like, I've never done it. I don't know what's going on here. I don't speak the language. They're over there, down there yelling in Italian. So I'm like, I'm stressed out. So I'm crying. I come down. She's like, why are you crying? I'm like, because I'm not here to just try this. Like there's no failing for me. There's no not doing this for me. Like this has been 10 years. Like this is so personal to me
Right.
that like you guys might think that I'm doing it, but from my perspective, this should have been a lot more solidified, right? Like a lot just different, right? So like I put a lot of pressure on myself, which which during the show, as you can see, I ended up setting the world record at 4 meters. And the guy goes, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "Let's go higher."
Mm-hmm.
So I broke that record, reset it at 4.5. And the guy was like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "Higher." Then I broke that record technically and set another record at 5. So I did write the Guinness Book of Records and say, "Hey man, I don't know about you guys, but there has to be a record for the fastest setting, breaking, and resetting a record." Because how many people do you know take off, break a record, and say, "Give me a second," take off and break it and say, "Give me a second," take off. Okay, okay, guy. Like, what's good? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the actual record
Good
at?
point. Good point,
So
man.
I think they did set me up to kind of go back because yes. So I did it. I came down. Everything was great. I flew home, which I was a little sad because they didn't let me take my plaque. I thought I was gonna go to at that point. I thought I was gonna go to walk home with my thing. I get backstage and they take it. They go, "You can order yours online." So
Really? If you're struggling with soreness, pain, or inflammation, you need to check out Stamina Pro recovery patches. Developed for over 15 years, the clinically proven technology of Stamina Pro is free from all chemicals, all pharmaceuticals, all drugs, and it's 100% safe for athletes. I only promote products that I use myself, and Stamina Pro takes care of all my training needs, pain, and soreness. If you use the code DRB15, you get 50% off, or use the link below, Stamina Pro.
messed up, man.
Question for you, man. In that moment, right? You set a world record, you break it, you reset another. How like you're flying back, right? Like how long did that feeling right there last for you and like your experience?
At that point, I have already been representing over 300 brands. I've been going around the world helping and teaching and training pro athletes and just knowing that this is just my life. So I'll be honest, I'm sitting in this room for the first time in 6 months, actually looking at all my stuff because this is my massage room. And I don't really, when I'm coming here, I'm focusing on others. I'm not focusing on me. So like I guess that's the thing where like yeah like once that train is full blast and I'm pumping coal in this train and
Hmm.
I'm just cruising like at a full I haven't had that moment yet to even cry or shed a tear or congratulations, pat on the back, no papa bought. I haven't done that yet. I don't want that. I don't want that yet. I don't want that yet. I think there is time. There will be time for that. And that's what I want for the rest of. Instead of being the workhorse, I can now be the enjoy horse. That time will come, but it's not now. I'm 35 and I'm at the strongest, smartest. I'm full blast right now. Like so, it wears off pretty quick. Wears off
Yeah.
pretty quick, man.
No, I dig that perspective, man. So pick us up from there. You come back and then
Oh man, you won't believe
yeah.
this. So I come back, you will not believe this. Oh my God, this is why they say sometimes you gotta take a break. You won't believe this. I come back as a world Guinness Book of World Record holder. I'm freaking high on life. I'm just did the go big. It's amazing. I go to the gymnastics gym. Okay, so I'm sitting on my couch. I get another email from Guinness Book of World Records, and it says, "Hey, we are coming to the Rio in Las Vegas. Would you like to break another? Would you like to set another world record?" And now I'm juiced. I'm like, 2 world records in 2 weeks. Get off me, like, get off
Okay,
me. So
let's
I
go.
head to the gymnastics gym to practice. I try to jump too hard, snap, break my arm in 2 places.
Wait, what were you doing? A flip?
I got a video. Nope. I was trying to jump. I put a gymnastics pad that was about 5 feet, and then I added like another gymnastics pad that was like 1 foot, and I did not Velcro the top pad correctly. And so when I jumped up, the top pad slid off. I fell back, reached back, and you could hear it in
Mm.
the video. Snap, snap. 2 plates, 10 screws later. I had to write them and say, "I'm so sorry. I am embarrassed. Like, I don't know what to say. I am in the hospital bed crying, apologizing to people. Like, that's how selfless I am. I'm literally in the bed saying, I'm so sorry. Like, I will get back. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, because I'm the pioneer. Like, I can't just start going on an adventure to get to a destination and then halfway through decide to say, you know what? Nope, Nick, you can't. I can't do that. Like I'm the captain of the ship. I have to continue going through the ice on in the sea, all of that. Like the whales jumping, all of that. I have to feed everybody. Everybody has to be fed. Like the sails have to go up and down still. Like all of that. So what's crazy is when I broke my arm, I took less than a week. Man, I have it all documented. It took me less than a week to get back to using my arm and get back to like no one ever knew. And because I always thought of myself as a pioneer, I'm not going to send a message back. Imagine if you have one message to send back to the group. Is it going to be that you're injured? It's not. So at that point, I was like, there's no way possible I'm going to be the lion limping around the jungle. Absolutely not. So I put a sleeve over my arm and I went right back to work and like I never stopped. No one ever knew I even broke my arm. It took me about 3 years or 2 years to even post that fail video.
Really?
Yeah, because it didn't matter to me. It didn't matter to nobody else. If it only mattered to the people that were like, I'm coming for your spot. Which I said you'll never get it. And
Yeah.
I make sure you'll never, even no one, people to this day will probably never know the things that I can do. They'll probably never know. I have a rod from my knee to my hip, 2 screws in my knee, 2 screws in my butt. I have a plate in my knee, 4 screws in my knee, two plates and 10 screws in my arm. They'll probably have never, and they don't need to know.
So how did you keep doing that then with you just put a sleeve over it and
I put a sleeve over and I went to
yeah,
legs. Because remember, the pistol squat, I've been doing that for a very long time. That's how I was
right.
rehabbing my knee. So to me, I just picked up with the products and now I jumped on everything. If you watch all that section of my life, I went hard in the paint. And then guess what? Boom, right to the arm. And the amazing thing is I did all my own therapy, no medication. And the proof for the no medication, when people are like, oh, can you prove that? Well, guess what? I'm a veteran. So if you have marijuana in your system and you go get surgery, it's illegal to give you narcotics. It's illegal. So like it doesn't matter if you want it or not, you don't get it.
Hmm.
And I'm not going get no. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to find that nowhere. I don't even have friends like that. Like I don't even have Advil. I just got my braces done 3 days ago, and I literally have just gone through all the pain. Not an Advil, not a Tylenol, not a single medication. That's it. Like no, I went to the gym and I ate popsicles.
Yep.
So once I broke my arm, now we're in rehab. And then right after COVID, they contacted me again and said, hey, do you want to come back down to break your record? And at that moment, all I said is good job, Travis, doing what you've been doing. You've never stopped. You're at the strongest that you've been, even if you broke your arm. So you broke your arm, and now I'm at the strongest again. And now I'm at the strongest again today. But at that moment, I was like, absolutely, let's do it. Fly me down. The same device, new poles, same device, and this time it was a little harder. But to my defense, it was higher. So and whatever level, whatever happened in that 0.50 meters changed a lot. So because of my brain, I said if I take these top two poles off, I can bang it all out. But those, you know what I mean? You can only go like, I don't know if they're going to want me to go back again to do it, which I'm going to say yes. There's no reason to say no.
Hmm. What was that experience like?
That was my second time. And
Yep.
if you watch my vlog, right when I showed up, it was literally, oh my gosh, the most amazing thing in this situation is the guy who rigged up my back. What's the odds that that's the same guy that I meet that's rigging me again? Now I'm like, yo, we're family now. We are friends now.
Right.
And like a bigger situation that like could probably bring me to tears, but I won't cry. I have a godson in Rome. It had to do with 2 years previously before I even got to break a world record. A beautiful family, Beatrice, and her man, they literally had a kid, named it after me because they just loved everything about me. They just said, "Yo, could you be?" The kid's name is Travis. I'm the godfather of the kid. They asked me to be the godfather. Then I literally fly to Italy and they're an hour and a half away. They literally drove to pick me up to meet the baby. They took me to the Colosseum. Without them, I wouldn't have went to the Colosseum, seen the Pope. I wouldn't have did any of that. They literally picked me up, complete strangers, little tiny baby. The baby was like freaking 6 weeks old, like little tiny Travis, like a baby.
Mm.
Oh my, like what? Like what is going on here? Like what is going on here? So like that surreal moments, man. And I still talk to them to this day. They got another kid now. They always keep inviting me back. I have the next time that I went back, I was a little bit farther, and I just couldn't. We just couldn't make it happen. But they have a new kid now. Travis is obviously walking. He's riding dirt bikes now, and he sent me a video of him waving. I'm
Love it.
building up that little whole story right now as we speak, actually.
No, that's very cool, man. So that experience happens. Um, you you re-break your own record. How long, like, did you even celebrate that one?
That they actually let me take the plaque home.
Oh, okay,
I
good.
went through the
Good. Thank
entire
goodness, man.
airport with that in my hand, on top of the luggage, absolutely talked to everybody in the line, and now I'm juiced. So that definitely made me feel like, yeah, I get it. When you win this world title, you're gonna wear your ring out tonight. You're gonna wear, yes, yes, because there's not a lot of those. How many moments? Like it's the MGK song called 27. Like, how do we know if we have not already hit the pinnacle? Eventually, it goes down, and that's what I'm chasing. I'm chasing that. I'm scared that I'm gonna put the last thing on the wall,
Hmm. Yeah.
and I don't want that. I want something else. I'm
Right.
craving to put something on that wall. That's gonna ensure that I'm talking, I'm engaging, and I'm activating.
Yep. You talk about you're an artist with knowledge backed by physics.
Yes, I love it. I love it because as a pioneer, the whole goal of us is to be before the average or basic. We're the reasons why you're able to do this. Like you're in your home right now and not in the middle of the desert because of a pioneer. Your ancestors got you to where you're going. So I say you're either a creator or you're a consumer.
Hmm.
People that use all day long, imagine all the things that we're going to use and do, the chair, the house, the carpet, the paint, somebody created that. So you can go all day long and just use and consume, and that's your life. Or there's the other side of people that are pioneers, right? And that's where I tried to say, okay, what information or as a pioneer can I communicate enough for people to comprehend this is what he actually means? That is where the education side is lacking in the accountability of the world of, wait, why are we making this viral when education needs to be viral? We need to be talking about the whale inside of SeaWorld in the bathtub with the ocean on the other side of the wall, which that's why we came out with the movie Shamu. Shamu, the movie, is where the whale finally goes, I'm out of here, bucko. And it jumps over the wall and leaves in the ocean. Right? Like we're all trying to figure out when is the damn whale gonna jump over that wall? It's right
Free
there.
Willy.
Yes, Free Willy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Free Willy, that's the literal example of what we could be trying to make happen. Like, but we make other things viral, right? So for me,
Yep.
I put my body on the line to be able to say, hey, we are all the same. We at least have to agree. We don't agree on our finances, our religious, our political views. We have to at least agree that we're human beings on planet Earth. Like we're not robots, we're not AI, we're not your Rumbo, we're not your cat, we're a human being, which means there are rules. Like as a human being, there are rules. When you move your arm, when you move your neck, when you breathe, you blink. Like those are things that are set that like, thank gosh that we're blinking automatically because most people will forget to blink. Thank gosh that we're swallowing because most people forget to swallow. There's stuff like that, right? Like you guys are lucky out there that you actually have autonomous situations and systems that you do not have to physically do it and go to work. Can you imagine somebody working, taking an order, trying to blink at the same time? And okay, you're lucky, right? So we got to be grateful that we have that. So we're going to agree that we're humans. And then we're going to agree that we're on planet Earth. That means if you got off of Earth, the gravity and everything changes on Mars, it changes on Venus, it changes all that stuff. We're on Earth, planet Earth, the ball. Whether you think it's round or flat, that's irrelevant. But we do know if you pick something up, it falls. Why is that? 14.7 grams atmospheric pressure, right? That's a get no matter what. So when somebody builds something, when you build a car, why a motorcycle needs a kickstand, it's because of physics. So I say, okay, how do you apply that to a human being? Right now, I just did a huge seminar, Soldiers for Sidelines. And not every single time I approach a book, I approach a manual, I try to do a seminar, I try to read, they're forgetting the basis of just being a human being on Earth. They're zooming people way past of they don't even know, can't even tell you what muscle it takes to stand, quad muscle. So like they don't know why a headache is because their erector muscles are back to the occipital ridge on the back of their head. Like, so before you want to do a whole class with 50 people, which is absolutely absurd to me, if I know everybody's a human being and everybody's an individual person, it's impossible to have a group class and care about everybody's well-being because they all have their own problems. So like, it's one of those things where like, okay, before you want to have a group class, I believe that you need to educate your clients, your fan base, your family that you are on Earth and you are a human being. And those two things, once you understand those, you can do everything. And that's why I say It's only magic is only fun until you know the magic trick. So
Right.
those people that are selling programs, selling group classes, giving seminars, my quote is you can only lie to someone who doesn't know the truth. The people who know physics, the people who know cellular molecular level, the people who know like true hydration that are trying to sell you water bottles or this and that, they understand that once you apply these, that over trumps all of this, especially if you don't understand or know physics. And when we say physics, I'm not talking about building a bridge. I'm talking about in our bodies directly. That's what I enjoy. Atmospheric pressure, fulcrum, kinetic chain, proprioception. Those are how you move around and do anything on planet Earth. How you recover is proper hydration, hydrogen water, sleep, CM2 technology, red blood cells. Like that is so that's the guru method. You apply all of this with the opposites, doing the opposites, because I know the body at a cellular molecular level, there's no extra, which means you cannot brush your teeth for 50 years with your left hand and not create shoulder problems, right? Fulcrum,
Hmm.
proprioception, kinetic chain, those must be known. And then what kind of credit card you want? Do you want strawberry ice cream? Because you know how to eat the ice cream. It's not creating shoulder problems. You're sitting correctly. You went there correctly. You're going to sleep and rest, recover correctly. So that's what I mean by physics.
Yeah. Dig that, man. Talk to us, Travis, about, I mean, God, Lloyd, quick question for you. Like, you talked about, I mean, the realist and the imagination, right? You can only lie to someone who doesn't know the truth, which I dig that line a lot, man. What is the message that you want to be able to get out to people?
The message directly is it doesn't even have to be packaged as the guru method. It's purely enlightenment. And if it wasn't enlightenment, I would be a millionaire. I would sat behind a salad and said, "Eat this." I would have did a couple sit-ups and said, two sets of 10." I would have sat behind the protein and said, "Buy this." So to be honest, I am still in that journey of how is it that I have so much knowledge pouring in? The only thing that I can think of is a massive amount of people. If Joel Osteen is talking to some people about something that happens after death, I just want to enlighten to people why they're alive. And I feel the resistance only when it checks someone selling something to non-educated people. Because I do
And
run into people who are just so enlightened and onto it that they're so receptive that they have their own way of looking at things to add into this. Like we have a
Mhm.
default, and then because just because you're here and understand does not mean you don't play around here. No, you play around here, but you sleep well at night. You
Mhm.
get to sleep good at night, knowing that you're not just taking a check. And when you say, "I'm getting you the best value, I want you to be the best," that's almost technically a lie, especially if someone from over here is trying to say, "Hey, you want the best for them. I want the best for them. Are you actually applying this or you just don't even know yourself?" And that's where you get the ego battle. That's
Mm.
where you'll get the ego battle right there. So I just want it's enlightenment. I just want you to know it doesn't matter if you like me, don't it doesn't matter. You live on earth and you're a human being and there's nothing we can do about it. I just want people to be in less pain. I've went through the pain, like I said, so people don't have to go through it. And I've
Yeah.
created the only sleep manual in the world so people can correct their ailments and their chronic patterns in the daytime because they're so stressed with work. They're so stressed with being parents. They're so stressed with school. So at least sleep correctly, at least for 8 hours a day. Unchronically rotate what you've chronically contracted. At
Hmm.
least, please. That's it. That's for me. That's why I'm here.
Talk to us, man, about, Heritage Reserve, the Guatemalan coffee, man, your experience with that. Um, well, I'll let you pick it up, man, but I liked it when, I mean, your experience with Don Pablo, man, like the coffee farmers. I mean, I think those are special type of individuals.
Yeah, the coffee
Hiking the
farmer, man.
volcano, man. I mean,
Man, what an amazing experience. The coffee farmer Marco in their Space Cafe 502 in Atilan, Guatemala. Like they have the Eco Spanish school. Like, yet Don Pablo has changed my life when it comes to understanding like naturalness because he saw me drinking these pre-workouts and I'm sponsored by all these energy drinks and man, coffee is from the bean, from the tree to the cup. Like,
right.
so why not if you learn about it from someone who's been doing it for 30 years. He married a beautiful Colombian woman, and he learned everything about coffee. His coffee's been to Walmart's, Costco's. Like he took me under his wing, and he said, "Hey man, let's go back to Guatemala." And imagine if I wouldn't have went to Guatemala in my humanitarian adventure, he wouldn't have knew that I cared about Guatemala enough to bring up a conversation of, "Hey, I need to go back to Guatemala." I said, "Well, so do I." Well, why don't we go to Guatemala and document this trip of you learning about coffee and get you a real indigenous experience culture? And I'm like, say less. When do we go? And
Hmm.
nothing but the utmost hospitality. If you look at the YouTube, my video, my vlog, I'm talking about from start to finish. I didn't spend a single dime. We stayed in some of the most luxurious Airbnbs that I've ever stayed in. Some of the best houses I've ever stayed in my life. We had fresh cooks. It was completely catered. We had our own guide, our own van. Like I'm sad that I'm gone. Like I have to keep going back now. Like that has absolutely solidified my Guatemalan life. Like I will go back to Guatemala now. From those two trips together combined, I talk to them every day. I talk to the farmer Marco. I didn't even know coffee was grown on the side of the farm. I wasn't a coffee drinker. And to be honest, let's go back just a little bit because I think people need to truly know that one of my quotes is what you do for today is for the future, and what happens today is from the past.
Mm.
So like this coffee thing was something that I set up 10 years ago when I told myself, continue doing what you're doing and these adventures and these things will happen. No, it probably wasn't go up a volcano, and no, that probably wasn't it, but it's things like this that I knew that I was going to set up, like AGT and this. I will be on a net, I'm just going to say it now because that's it. I will be on a Netflix show. You will see me on The Circle or something. It's that those are the next things that go from this level.
Right.
I will have my own land. I will have my own animals. Like that's where this is going, and it's already been going. And so the Don Pablo thing, once I had it had to come down to what started all of this is with the products. I have so many products and represent so many brands, and I spoke the lingo to the CEOs being the artist and being the brand side. I was just so good at connecting people. And then once I developed my own marketing firm and blew the lid off what we call social media marketing, that's what allowed me to reach Don Pablo and Don Pablo give me the respect that I deserved. Without that system, I think it might have been different. So I do want people to understand that if they're on social media, they do have to understand social media marketing, and it's a real thing. Because without that, that wouldn't happen. And it's like,
Hmm.
wow, that's really crazy to think about that. No matter if I even liked coffee or not like coffee, I still had to have that social credibility to even be given a chance.
Right.
Which I really appreciate. Don Paul, he has no idea how much I appreciate him when we were eating dinner in Guatemala and he was looking over saying, "Man, I got your back. Like I'm gonna teach you the ins and outs." He introduced me to all the restaurant owners, even starting from the airport. He's gone to Guatemala quite a bit because they all knew him. Hey, Don, welcome back, Don. And he introduced me to all those people. So like I keep in contact with so many amazing people. Um, and Don Pablo completely changed my life when it comes to coffee. So for me, that experience meeting the farmers, like I didn't even know that coffee, there is a Arabica, there is a Robusta, there is a difference of high elevation, cheap coffee. So, because imagine you're McDonald's, you're Starbucks, it's Guatemalan coffee. The biggest issue is that what I learned is they do large batch roasting,
Right.
which means they ruin the bean. And then so my coffee is fresh. It's grown in Guatemala, shipped fresh to Miami, and it's fresh to order. Once you order it, it's roasted and it's shipped to you fresh, whole bean. Um, so Guatemala,
Question for you, man.
go ahead.
Talk to us about like with the coffee farmers, like the I believe like the energy, and you said this, like the energy and love that they kind of put into that bean. I mean, talk to us about that experience, man.
Man, you gotta imagine, I'm from Las Vegas. I'm from the city. Just being there in the culture, it's just mind blowing. It's infatuous. I'm completely absorbing that energy from that culture. Like I cried a couple times. I get goosebumps several times. Like yeah, absolutely. Imagine me going to a coffee farm, an indigenous one, that the guy has. To me, in the video, you'll see it looks like 100-year-old log that he's squishing coffee beans with in like a 500-year-old tree stump. And like, yeah, all I'm thinking is, Yeah, man, like this is straight indigenous, like this is culture, like they haven't changed, like this is rooted for them. Because in America, we got espresso machines. You go in, it's got music, they got 25 cups for sale on the wall. You get like 17 tables. No, no, no. These people are out in there with the stone, still crushing on the stone. Like, so yeah, I became an I'm appreciate me having the courage to travel, because when I went to Italy for the first time by myself, not knowing the language, I did get locked in the ATM machine. It is a little weird trying to catch a cab and you don't know the language and they just send you down a random road. It is really weird when you go on a run and you have no GPS signal and you don't know exactly how to get back. Like there's it's very vigorous when you're traveling. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't that easy. And it's the hardest part of traveling is booking everything, making sure you're not going to sleep in the streets.
Yeah, my
Yeah, don't
man.
pop up to El Salvador at 2 a.m. is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
Especially with the bag sling across your chest, looking like with a fresh white T-shirt. That's all. You
Yeah.
got to get
Yeah.
that
Right.
sombrero or something, man. If
Right.
don't just pop up in some of these places like at random times. Like lock on a hostel, lock on the proper things that you need. But traveling is still amazing. It's still craved. It's needed. It's wanted. Because remember, what did I say? We're on Earth, all of that Earth, not just we're. I didn't say we're in Dallas. I didn't say we're in Las Vegas. No, no, we're on Earth. That means you can apply this to all of that Earth. That means
Hmm.
why aren't you jumping over that, or why are you scared of this? So imagine I tell people when you're scared to walk to the end of a cliff, well, you don't know atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure pressure straight down. Atmospheric pressure is not pushed at an angle. That means you can go to the tip of anything, and you don't just fall off. I just I just fell off. You don't know the truth about the bodies. Actually, to be honest, your mind is so strong and you're so powerful at the edge of the cliff. You're pretty goddamn strong, I would say. I think you're probably bolting yourself to the ground more stronger than you are when you just walked. So, right, that's when it comes to the education. So that's the physics that I'm talking about.
Yep.
You don't got to be scared to go to the end of the cliff. You don't got to be scared of heights. That's not how it works. Once you're educated, it's easier. Once you know the magic trick, it's easier. And then it's like one of my quotes is, "You think you're loved until you're truly loved, and all the hate is exposed." So if you're going to these classes and you're paying money to these people and you're not getting down to what the root of it is, I believe that you're wasting some time, and we don't have too much time.
Yeah. Travis, man, I enjoyed this, man. But what question should I be asking that I'm not asking? What am I missing?
What you're missing is I'm a force to be reckoned with. And 12 years ago, I told myself that I will lead this generation or the future when it comes to health and wellness. The Joe Rogan podcast, the David Goggins, the Gary V's, the Grant Cardones, I'm all on unread. There's not a single unread DM that I have in my direct message in 13 years. So when it comes to true humanitarian practice, what you preach, putting everything on the line, the grind, I'm the true definition of that. And I'm a pioneer enough to I will show it and I will not stop until I do. And what I want people to know is it doesn't matter if you like me or not. The information is relevant to you, everybody you know, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no matter where you travel on this planet. So I just want to be the guy that's message. That's it. That's all I want you to know. I want you to know if you have pain, there's a reason. And nothing is all of a sudden. Just like if you got bigger or you got smaller, it takes time. It doesn't matter if I want to put on body fat right now, I can't. Doesn't matter if you wanted to give me your fat and I want to get it, you can't. We can't do it. We can't do it. So anything other than nothing is something. Don't forget that. Stop. Try to get out of the zero. Try to get in the one column, which means did you jump today? It got to be one. There's 24 hours in a day. If you need to write down all the things that you did today compared to do one thing about this, fine. That's a journal or a book I'll create. All the things that you didn't do today. And if you write down all the list that you did compared to the things you didn't, I promise you this list is a lot longer. So I would say try to get
Hmm.
on this list.
Love it, man. Travis, we're gonna put all those links on there, man, so people can reach out to you and obviously those videos as well. But man, thanks so much, man, for coming on and sharing your experience, strength, and hope, man. Really
I
means a lot,
appreciate it,
man.
man. And I hope you get to keep doing some more of your podcast and getting your story out also, man.
Appreciate that, man. Well, when I'm in Vegas, I'm usually in Vegas every year. I'll hit you up, man, for sure.
Yep, I'm trying to open a location soon. So I mean, that's the thing. Imagine I've been kicked out of every gym in the city. I'm a veteran. I have world records. I've written books. I can't find the
You
investors,
got your own
man.
shoe?
Huh?
You got your own shoe?
My own shoe, my own cologne. Yeah, I got. So I've been stacking it up to. So hopefully one day I can kind of break through, and hopefully with this ATT coming up May 27th, the season starts. Hopefully I can get my own location, man. I really want my own location to truly help people.
Good, man. Because we're gonna coordinate the release on that and let them know what's coming up, man. So
Yeah, man,
awesome, man.
absolutely.
Appreciate you, brother.
Of course.